There is a secret that separated the greatest warrior in history from ordinary men, and 99% of men today are too weak to apply it. Miyamoto Musashi won 60 duels to the death, never lost a fight, and died invincible at the age of 62. But what he discovered about male weakness will shock you. Look what he wrote before he died. Most men become pathetic because they are addicted to 3 things that destroy them from within. And man, when you find out what those 3 things are, you'll understand why you might be one of them. But before I reveal these 3 deadly weaknesses, I ask that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and activate the bell to receive our new content. Now, going back to the video, I want to explain to you who Musashi really was, because the story you know is just the tip of the iceberg. Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584, in the midst of the most violent period of feudal Japan. At 13, he killed his first man. By 16, he was already known as an unstoppable killing machine. But here comes what no one tells you. Musashi was not just a warrior, he was a mental predator. He obsessively studied the psychology of his opponents. He discovered their weaknesses, their fears, their insecurities. And then I mentally destroyed them before I even drew my sword. A Japanese history researcher at the University of Tokyo said something that gave me chills. Musashi didn't win because he was faster or stronger. He won because he understood something about human nature that his opponents didn't even know existed. And that discovery changed everything for him. So, what are these 3 weaknesses that Musashi identified? In the last years of his life, he wrote a book called Dokudo, The Path of Solitude. And in that book, he exposed the 3 weaknesses that destroy any man. First weakness, approval addiction. Musashi said, "Never seek to be loved by everyone." And look how brilliant. He discovered that the need for approval is literally an addiction. What do you mean? Simple. When someone compliments you, your brain releases dopamine, the same substance released by drugs. It's like any addict. You need bigger and bigger doses to feel good. That's why you see men doing anything for likes, for comments, for attention. They became addicted to external approval. Musashi realized this 400 years ago. He wrote, "When you need the approval of others to feel valuable, you have given your power away to them, and a man without power is just a shadow." Second weakness, escape from discomfort. "Accept everything as it is," Musashi wrote, because he understood something brutal about human nature. Most men spend their entire lives running away from reality, running away from difficult conversations, from important decisions, from responsibilities, from anything that causes discomfort. And do you know what happens when you're always running away? You become weak. Because strength only comes through discomfort. A neuroscientist with 20 years of experience explained it in a way that struck me. The human brain only develops new neural connections when it is forced out of its comfort zone. Men who avoid discomfort literally stop evolving mentally. Musashi knew this. That's why he purposely sought out uncomfortable situations. Third weakness, slavery to desires. And here comes the most devastating one of all. Let go of desire, Musashi wrote, because he discovered that as long as you are controlled by your impulses, you are just an animal reacting, not a man. Think about it. How many men do you know who are completely dominated by uncontrolled sexual desire, desire for food, for entertainment, for alcohol, for validation? These men think they are free, but they are slaves to their own impulses. Musashi transcended that. He became master of his own desires. And when you control your desires, instead of being controlled by them, you become unstoppable. But that's just the beginning of his brutal philosophy. Musashi developed a method he called forging through solitude. And man, this is more extreme than anything you've ever seen. The journey of absolute loneliness. After his first duels, Musashi made a radical decision. He would spend years living completely alone. No women, no close friends, no family, no distractions or emotional support. Why? Because he understood a truth that will give you goosebumps. A man only discovers his true strength when there is no one left to save him. He trained alone in the mountains, meditated alone in caves, faced his fears, completely alone. And do you know what he discovered during that journey? The 3 inner demons. Musashi identified that every man has 3 inner demons that prevent him from achieving greatness. Demon 1, the voice of doubt. That voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You're going to fail. You don't deserve success." Demon 2, the voice of addiction. You need others to feel complete. You can't live alone. You need approval. Demon 3, the voice of fear. What if you fail? What if you get rejected? What if you lose everything? During his solitary journey, Musashi waged a brutal war against these 3 demons, and he won. Completely. The ritual of daily death. But there's a technique he developed that's even more extreme. Musashi had a ritual he called living death. Every day at dawn, he would sit in meditation and imagine his own death. In detail, I visualized his body being cut by a sword, blood flowing, life fading away. Does it sound morbid? It's not. It's the smartest thing you can do. Because when you fully accept that you are going to die, you stop being afraid to live. A psychologist specializing in cognitive therapy explained it brilliantly. The fear of death is the root of all other fears. When you transcend the fear of death, you transcend all fears. And that's exactly what happened to Musashi. But the most impressive transformation was yet to come. After years of this brutal journey of self-discipline, something extraordinary happened to Musashi. He became literally unstoppable. The birth of the perfect warrior. When Musashi returned to civilization, he was no longer the same man. His opponents reported something frightening. Before the duel even began, they already knew they had lost. How was this possible? Simple. Musashi radiated such absolute confidence, such an intimidating presence, that he broke his opponents psychologically. One of the samurai who faced Musashi and survived, yes, he sometimes spared lives, said something that left me speechless. Looking into Musashi's eyes was like looking into an abyss. You felt you were looking at someone who had completely transcended fear, and that was terrifying. The 5 laws of invincibility. During this transformation, Musashi developed 5 laws that he considered fundamental for any man who wanted to achieve true strength. Law 1. Accept loneliness as your greatest teacher. He discovered that it is in solitude that you truly know yourself. No distractions, no people to impress, just you and your naked truth. Law 2. Turn discomfort into fuel. While other men run from discomfort, you must embrace it, because it is in discomfort that strength is born. Law 3. Kill your emotional needs. The need for approval, for validation, for love, for acceptance. All of this makes you dependent and weak. Law 4. Live as if you were already dead. When you accept death, you free yourself from fear. And without fear, You can do anything. Law 5. Become master of your impulses. Total control over sexual desires, hunger, anger, laziness, any primitive impulse. The supreme test. But the true proof of Musashi's transformation came in the most famous duel in history, the fight against Sasaki Kojiro, considered the second best swordsman in Japan. And what Musashi did was genius. He arrived 3 hours late to the duel. Why? To psychologically break your opponent. While Kojiro waited nervously on the beach, Musashi was calmly carving a wooden sword from a boat oar. When he finally arrived, Kojiro was already mentally defeated. The duel lasted less than 30 seconds. But the most impressive part happened after the victory. After becoming invincible, Musashi revealed some secrets that will shock you. The truth about masculine strength. Musashi wrote something that contradicts everything you've ever learned about being a man. True masculine strength does not come from dominating others. It comes from dominating yourself. And he proved it in a brutal way. In the last 20 years of his life, Musashi never killed anyone again. Even though he was constantly challenged, he found ways to win without killing. Why? Because he had transcended the need to prove his strength to others. The secret code of strong men. During his years of solitude, Musashi discovered what he called the secret code of strong men. Secret 1. Strong men don't need to look strong. They are so sure of themselves that they don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. Secret 2. Strong men are masters of patience. They can wait years, decades, for the right opportunity, because they know that haste is a sign of weakness. Secret 3. Strong men are not afraid of being wrong. They change their minds when presented with new facts. Fragile egos need to always be right. Secret 4. Strong men protect their weaknesses. They know exactly where they are vulnerable, and they work obsessively to strengthen those areas. Secret 5. Strong men are unpredictable. They never follow patterns that others can exploit. They always maintain an element of mystery. The most disturbing discovery. But Musashi's darkest discovery was about the nature of male competition. He realized that 90% of men aren't really competing to win. They are competing not to lose. And that's the difference between a predator and prey. Predators attack to conquer. Prey defend to survive. Musashi became the ultimate predator because while his opponents fought to stay alive, he fought to win. The brutal thought. Experiment. Musashi developed a thought experiment that he used to test his own strength. He imagined losing everything. His reputation, his money, his possessions, his health, all the people he knew. And then he asked himself, if I lost everything, would I still be a strong man? The answer was always yes, because he had built his inner strength so solidly that nothing external could shake it. And therein lies the most powerful secret of all. So, what is the final truth that Musashi discovered? Simple, yet devastating. The difference between strong men and weak men is not in what they achieve. It's what they can live without. Weak men need constant approval, endless distractions, immediate pleasures, external validation, company to make them feel complete. Strong men can live without all this, and that's exactly why they get all this. The final paradox. Here's the paradox that will blow your mind. When you stop needing something, you become irresistible to it. When you stop needing approval, people naturally respect you more. When you stop needing company, you become someone everyone wants to be with. When you stop needing success, you become naturally successful. Musashi discovered this 400 years ago, and it remains true today. Your moment of decision. So now you have a choice. You can close this video, go back to your usual life, and continue being just another ordinary man. Or you can accept Musashi's challenge and begin your journey of transformation today. If you've made it this far, you've already proven that you're different from 95% of men. Most gave up in the first few minutes, but not you. You want real transformation. The final commitment. If you're ready for this journey, I want you to do one thing. In the comments, just write, "I accept Musashi's challenge." This is your public commitment to your own transformation, and subscribe to the channel right now, because every week I bring you the secrets of the most powerful men in history. Because weak men seek comfort, strong men seek growth. And always remember, the path of strength is the path of solitude. But at the end of this journey, you will not be alone. You will be complete.